We have so many amazing, brilliant, awesome, fantastic dog moms in our community. It is such a blessing, and I want you to hear from them, not just me. So, over the next few weeks, I'm going to do encores on some interviews and discussions that I've had with these amazing women, starting with this week. So, this will be our first encore. And have I got a confidence boosting and inspirational episode for you today? It's so good. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Kathy Kowalik, and I believe that our dogs connect us to the heart and soul of what really matters in life. So hang out, and we'll take a deep dive into the human-dog connection and explore strategies that will inspire you to create legendary, enlightened partnership with your dog. This is the Enlightened by Dogs podcast. If you've been thinking that there is more to enjoying life with your dogs than obedience, and if you've been struggling with understanding your dog and feeling uncertain about knowing what the right thing to do is, I have got an episode for you. Yep, this episode was created with you in mind because we're featuring dog moms, my amazing and brilliant students who had the same questions as you, the same struggles as some of you, and the same worry, overwhelm, frustration, disappointment as many of us feel, at least at times. What I love about my student stories is that they really paint a picture of what is possible and what it looks like to go from struggling to feeling happy and enjoying life with their dog or dogs. And I have a feeling that you're going to be inspired and more confident about creating a heart-centered life of partnership, connection, and cooperation with your dog. Also, I want to call you out if you're thinking, Kathy, I have no idea if partnering with my dog will work for us, and I don't even know if I should try. I want you to send that thought to the back seat, and I want you to step into the driver's seat with an open mind and an open heart as you listen in, okay? Is it a deal? So hi, I'm Kathy Kowalik, and this is Enlightened by Dogs, and I am delighted that you're here today. Okay, so I've been a coach, mentor, advisor, instructor, and friend to so many dog moms that there are too many to count at this point. And one common theme that I see over and over is dog moms struggling with feeling confident that they are doing right by their dogs. I mean, I get it. It's a big deal. We live for our dogs and we want them to be happy, well-adjusted, to thrive, and of course, we want them to be cooperative. But what I find time and again is that more than anything else, it's self-doubt, feeling alone in their worries, and losing confidence in their ability to understand what is happening with their dog. And this lack of confidence and self-doubt can be paralyzing. Am I right? I mean, oh my gosh, it feels like a heavy burden sometimes that is just too much to bear. Maybe you could relate. Now, the truth is, my sister, that you are capable of creating a brilliant life with your dog. And while you may not yet be full of confidence, we will lend you some of ours. That is what we do. So in this episode, you're going to hear from a few of my Brilliant Partners Academy students. I'll introduce them one by one. And what I want you to notice is the range of circumstances and struggles, and that no matter how challenging things were, and no matter how little confidence they may have had back in the beginning of their partnership journey, they successfully turned things around. Listen for their hints of inspiration and know that you too can do this. In fact, after you listen to this episode, I have a little task for you. I want you to head over to dancingheartsdogacademy.com, where you'll find upcoming events, invitations, and where you can get started with me right away in my Brilliant Dog Foundation Builders program, dancingheartsdogacademy.com. I'm so excited, and I can hardly wait to see you fall in love with your dog and your life all over again. But for now, let's dive into some inspiration, shall we? Okay, my first student is Sandra from the UK. When I first met Sandra in BPA, she was really struggling with her border collie, Monty. Like, she just did not understand him at all. He was so over the top and over aroused and so difficult for her to live with that at one point she confessed to not even liking him anymore. And she was feeling so isolated from her friends. Monty was always like busy and demanding, and he was reactive to dogs and other things. And you know what? He just wasn't much fun to be around. Now, these days, Monty is calm, he sleeps, he relaxes, and Sandra feels confident in making the right choices so that they can all enjoy their life together. And that is just exactly what they do. So Sandra recorded this little snippet back in the fall of 2020 when life was so much better. And today it is simply brilliant.
I'm Sandra, and I live in the UK in just outside a town called Sheffield in Yorkshire, and I've got 2 dogs. I've got a rough collie cross and border collie. They're my first dogs, the first dogs that I've ever had. So Nigella's a rough collie, and I've had her now for 4.5 years. I've had her since she was 8 weeks old puppy. So she came into my life quite a sad time just after I'd lost my husband, and she's my soulmate. And then she was about 2, and I decided to expand the family a little bit, and that's when Monty came into my life. And about 6 months, maybe 10 months after I'd had Monty, I joined BPA because Monty was completely different. I didn't have any hesitation, really. I was struggling with Monty, and I'd been to normal dog training classes, didn't fit in there, and so I did the 3 week, just picked it up on the Facebook group, and thought, wow, this is really interesting. Can I put your harness on? Good boy. Good boy. I love being a member. It's just made such a lot of difference to my relationship with Monty. Anyway, it's just changed things completely. The key thing for me was about focusing on what's easy, loving the dog that you've got, not the dog that you perceived you would get. Not trying to fix your dog, but being supportive of your dog and working together with your dog. And like I said at the beginning, just focusing on what's easy and then building on it, and then you start to fall in love with the personality that you've got there in that dog, and it just builds from there. I think we can only keep growing together as a family. I've been working my rough collie Nigella. We've been working a lot this last few months around her anxiety when we're out, and the focus is that we'll become confident partners, that we'll be able to go anywhere and do anything, and that she'll see me as a leader that she needs to keep her safe, not around. And I can really see that happening now. That's really starting to happen. I'd say if you've done the free week and you're hooked, just go for it, because it's just, the community is so supportive. The people that are the dog mums that are part of BPA, they're all there for you. There's so much love from an international community. It's just unreal. You can't explain what it's like to be part of that group of women that are all working together to support each other. And it's totally non-judgmental. It's not a training program. It's about lifestyle, it's about partnership, and you just grow there as an individual, as a dog mum. It's a life coach that my dogs have found for me.
Okay, next I'll introduce you to Alicia from Texas here in the US. So Alicia and her husband decided to adopt a dachshund from a rescue, and then another, and then another over a couple of years. And soon they found themselves fostering homeless dachsies after Texas changed their laws, and the rescue that they had supported just exploded and were really desperate for foster homes. Well, their peaceful small family became larger and much more difficult with their fosters that came in with significant behavior challenges. There was fighting, over-arousal, and never-ending management. Alicia knew there was something important missing, and after joining BPA, she got to work learning how to be the brilliant partner that her dogs so desperately needed. These days, no more fighting, lots more peace, and her confidence is strong, and her dogs love that.
My name is Alicia Martin, and I am from Garland, Texas. I got my first dog when I was 2. I distinctly have a vivid memory of going to the shelter with my parents and picking her out. And she was my best friend. Her name was Crystal. And I had the most amazing relationship with her. 10 years ago, my husband and I stumbled on a little dachshund rescue that's local to Texas. And we adopted a dachshund. And the next year, we adopted another one. And the next year, we adopted another one. And then after that, Texas changed the kill laws. And we watched this little bitty rescue that had usually 30 to 35 dogs in their adoption, up for adoption. We explode over to 100 dogs and beg for fosters. And we looked at each other and said, how can we not foster? So 6.5 years ago, we started fostering. And in that time, we fostered over 60 dogs in our home. So we have accumulated dogs. We had our own when we started fostering. And then we've had some foster failures. But we also have kind of acquired what we call sanctuary dogs. So either behaviorally or medically, they've been deemed unadoptable. So right now we have 12. Kathy Kathy did a 10-day challenge last year and I was hooked. I mean, it was awesome. It was like what I was looking for that I didn't know I was looking for. However, for me, the hesitation was finances. My husband is a disabled veteran with PTSD, and that can cause financial challenges. So that was my hesitation, but that was totally worth it. And I will continue to figure out ways to make it happen because it's totally worth every penny and every bit of time. So overall, because I have so many dogs, I work with them as a group. Just the transformation in the relationships, the increase in the depth and the richness and the delight has just been incredible. The light in their eyes, the heart connections, the communication that absolutely has blossomed as we have learned the skills and the techniques and created a lifestyle. But real specifically, I had many years ago, I was given some bad training advice with one of my little guys. He's a 12-pound dachshund named Joey. I started working in repairing those, that blown trust with him. And it's just been incredible. He used to run from me when I called his name. And now he actually runs to me and launches himself into my arms. He has become this amazing cuddle bug and light in his eyes, and it has just been incredible. I came into BPA, desperately wanting there to be more to my life with my dogs than mediocre interactions and frustrations with unwanted behaviors. I needed new hope, but I needed some permission to open up to a whole new way of thinking and relating to my dogs. And it's just been amazing and incredible life journey that I've started on. I can take several of my dogs anywhere now. And I had some dogs that were deemed unwalkable that I can now walk. And, I've entered into a whole new world of connected relationships with happy dogs who love to hear their name and know that I have become a reliable, trustworthy leader.
Next up, please meet Marika from beautiful British Columbia, Canada. Marika came to BPA with very little confidence in herself after doing all the right things with her Roddy puppy, who grew up being reactive and challenging anyway. As an experienced positive dog trainer, this was the last thing that Marika expected. Like, talk about a confidence suck, right? I mean, can you relate? I know I sure can. Now, Marika and her beautiful dogs live the good life. And Marika is loving being a partner with her dogs, and she's coaching others in her community and in the BPA community too. And yes, that means that Marika loved the new way of living as partners, living in partnership so much that she worked with me in my certification program, and she is proud to be a certified partnership coach, and I am proud to have her as one of my certified partnership coaches.
My name is Marika, and I live in Revelstoke in British Columbia in Canada, but I'm originally from Australia. But I always felt I liked dogs, and there was something in there. I just didn't know what it was until I grew up and decided to become a dog trainer because I rescued a dog that I didn't really know how to help, and I didn't want to give up on her, so I felt the only way was to learn how to help her because I wasn't able to find dog trainers that were able to help me. And we adopted another rescue dog, and I also wanted to get a puppy in this similar time frame. And the idea was I knew the rescue dog was coming with problems that I was happy to work with, that the puppy was going to be perfect. And because I'd already had all these dog training skills, I thought, great, now I can apply them and she's going to be perfect. So we did all the things that you're supposed to do. We took her to puppy classes, my own classes, and my husband took her as his puppy. and did all the socializing and did all that. We still ended up with a dog with a lot of problems. I wasn't sure by looking into BPA, like what it was, or if it didn't use treats, like what does it use? It didn't make sense to me in my brain. And I thought, if this thing was so effective, whatever it is, why do I not already know about it? Why aren't other dog trainers teaching it to me? And why have I not heard about it? So that was my main skepticism. All the training and all the things I was doing to try and distract my dogs and train them to do new things was actually distracting me from forming a real relationship with them. And this is something I'd never learnt about before. It just isn't taught in dog training school. It's not taught as really anywhere. It's, you focus on fixing things with teaching a new behavior, and all that had kept me from learning how to form a real relationship with my dogs. What you learn in BPA is not that you need to practice behaviors over and over again, but you learn how to actually apply them in real life, in real time, and then that's actually more effective. And the reason why dog training is so ineffective is because we're doing it in setups, in not real situations, and then our dogs struggle and we struggle to then apply it in real life because we're always thinking in this setup scenario versus real life. We just keep doing the same things over and over again, thinking something will change because we don't know what else is possible. And so being able to escape from those cycles that we were stuck in and the bad habits, I'm now aware of all these things and how they impact our relationship with our dogs. So everything has changed for me. I know that I have the power to change those habits, one baby step at a time. And it actually starts with us first, not with our dogs and trying to train them to do something, but it starts with us being aware, being present, being prepared with a plan, but also being okay if that plan doesn't work. Like, we have to be flexible. Yes. Good boy. I no longer personally feel like what I was teaching before is the best thing out there, so I've changed what I'm teaching them now. Now I feel like I can be more effective and deliver them the best kind of information that I can to help them to actually make long-lasting changes that will impact their dog's behavior. But me personally, it's helping me become the best version of myself. Allowing me to create the life I want instead of feeling stuck where I was before and not knowing how to change things. I didn't know I had a choice, and now I know I do have a choice to change things. A big thing that I've learned is that everything we do and everything our dogs do, it's just made up of small habits, and we can actually change those one at a time, and that's the path forward for us. Seeing how other people have transformed their relationships was so powerful for me. So, listening to other people's stories, because I know the first thing people, and this is an issue with my own clients, is, but I need that in-person attention. I need someone to show me how to do things. And I used to think that too. But honestly, to see what other people have achieved and me knowing now what I'm going to achieve and never having someone look at me in person and being there in person to help me, I know we can totally achieve anything online. And so not to let that hold you back. Do it and don't look back. It'll change your life.
Last, but by no means least, I'm pleased to introduce you to the brilliant Roz from the UK. About 3 years back, Roz took the plunge and joined us in BPA, feeling very little confidence in her ability to help her 2 reactive Vizslas. Life was full of stress, anxiety, and disconnection for Roz and her 2 dogs. There seemed to be no escape from dealing with her dog's reactivity. They were reactive to other dogs, strangers, moving things like bikes, and in addition, they were notorious for running off and chasing deer, which was like an ordinary experience for them. And Roz was, oh my gosh, all of this left her feeling so stressed, and she was constantly on the lookout and worried about what would happen next and how she could avoid anything that would trigger her dogs. So Roz devoted herself to learning, implementing, and making changes that would help her and her dogs to feel connected and calmer. And after about 18 months, life was unrecognizable. The dogs no longer reacted, and Roz was so much more confident taking her dogs out anywhere. And fast forward even a little further to current times, these days, life is just amazing for Roz and her dogs. The dogs can walk on or off lead. They are not reactive. And seriously, chasing deer is a thing of the distant past that Roz never even gives a thought to anymore.
My name is Roz Swallow and I'm based in the UK. And I've had dogs in my family as I was growing up. But the dogs that I have now are the first dogs that I've ever been 100% responsible for. So Phoebe is my oldest dog. She's 7.5 and she's a Hungarian Vizsla. 3 years after getting her, we got Myrtle, who is also a Hungarian Vizsla, and she's now 4.5. And what we do together is hump, point, retrieve gun dog work. So they fall into the gun dog group of hunt, point, retrievers. So we try to work together as they were bred to do so. I wasn't sure that I could follow the teachings of Kathy and also carry on with the gun dog training at the same time. I had some confusion around that when I listened to the free workshop, so that whilst it was ongoing, that made me a little bit hesitant because I wasn't willing at the time to stop the gun dog training, because that was kind of the direction we'd gone into, to where we could be happy as a unit, aside from the other challenges that we had in life. So I didn't want to lose that. But I was reassured during the questions that I asked that that wasn't the case. And so we joined up. There are so many ways that it's changed our life, really, that it was quite hard to pick out just one or two things. But I think one of the things I really like about BPA is the way that you can learn in layers. Mm-hmm. So, and the way that you learn is just through repetition and through listening to others as well. So as human beings, obviously we can only take in a certain amount of information at once, and because of the way that the BPA is structured in terms of the modular courses that it has that you can repeat whenever you want, but that you also repeat as a group, all the different coaching calls that you can sign into in the Facebook group, it means that you can kind of learn, you can add to your skills and knowledge in layers at a moment that's appropriate for you. And it just means that doors are continually opening for you and you can go through them when you feel ready to do so. So I've been a member of BPA for 18 months now. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the changes in both myself and my dogs is really quite significant. So my older dog used to chase deer a lot. She never does now. We're all far less reactive. We're much more attentive and responsive to each other, and we understand each other's needs and also understand each other's personalities so that we can try and set each other up for success.
Let's work together. Beeps.
I think one of the biggest things that BPA has taught me is that I only need myself and my dog to succeed. I've done all sorts of different training programs and I've tried to fix my dogs in lots of other ways before I joined BPA, and all of them tend to rely on trying to change your dog and using things like treats, using games to distract them from what it is that might cause them to display the behaviour that you don't like. Whereas everything to do with BPA is all about your relationship with your dog, and actually you realise once you've got those skills in place that you don't need any of that other stuff. We've obviously built up a lot of different layers of learning and understanding in the last 18 months, and I think that will just continue. I think that pretty much everybody will find that it's a real eye-opener in terms of what it offers, not only in terms of your relationship between yourself and your dog, but also just in terms of the bigger life skills, because everything that you can learn, that you learn can be applied to so many other areas of your life as well. So it's really quite far-reaching what you learn.
Okay. Well, hopefully by now you are feeling inspired. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what's next? What do I do to get serious about living a partnership life with my dogs? Well, you know, I will not leave you stranded. And this is why I'm reminding you right now to head over to dancingheartsdogacademy.com, where there is a live event upcoming, most likely, and there are invitations and links to help you get started with your dream life with your brilliant dog as soon as today. And I can't wait to see you there. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you loved these stories of my students' success and that you feel inspired. I know that I am honored and so very blessed to work with these brilliant women, and I thank them for sharing their stories with all of us. And one thing I know to be true is that truly understanding your dog changes everything and leads to loving wholeheartedly and without condition, which leads to a trustworthy connection and feeling safe and calm and happy. And that means that we're growing a cooperative and brilliant life together with our dogs. Okay, so I'll see you next week for Enlightened by Dogs, the next episode. And in the meantime, be brilliant. Bye-bye for now. Thanks so much for listening. And hey, if you would like to work with me so that I can help you discover the missing pieces you need so that you and your dog can finally be happy and enjoy life together, then head on over to dancingheartsdogacademy.com and request your invitation to join us in the Brilliant Partners Academy when the doors open for the next enrollment. See you next time, and remember, a brilliant partnership with your dog makes your whole life brilliant.